welcome to the first of many conversations of Words of Wisdom through Mats and Pats, and we're very excited to be having our first conversation today with two very special people that we've invited to share their wisdom. Before we get to that, I'd like to expand a little bit about why are we doing this? Why has Mats and Pats decided that this is something that we felt was very important? So, in really simply, the reason that we've decided to offer these conversations was in response to the negativity and the hatred and the fear that seems to have been unleashed south of the border in the last 6 to 12 months, and it seems to be moving through the world. And we made a very conscious decision that we can either go with the fear and worry, or we can start looking at how do we capture all the wisdom and all the good things that are happening, because we know it does go on. And so we decided that we would have a platform through Mats and Pats where we will invite people who are inspirational, people who have been identified as ones who have created a fulfilling and happy life, who offer hope. And so that's our why. And so we are having our first conversation today. And I would like to introduce the two guests who were identified in the community as ladies who are inspired. And you're ladies who are seen as offering hope to others, and you seem to have a great life. So thank you for coming and welcome. And so can you tell us a little bit about, just matter, it's Sharon and Rosemary, sorry. Can you talk a little bit about how did you get to be positive and hopeful? Like how does that work? Were you born like that, or did you develop over the years? How do you become a positive person and inspirational?
I'll take that first, I
Sure.
guess. I've always been a positive person. I've grown up very independent. I have to thank my father for that. I've been married and raised children, but I've worked independently all my life, and over the years have just that's been part of my persona is you do for you, and I like myself and I like my life, and there are not some unpleasant things have happened, but you got to keep going on, and I'm at the point now where I am a senior or a 55 plus person.
You're an elder. We're elders. We're the wise ones.
Well, we're not elders, no, but I have my own business, and I am so enthusiastic about it. I love doing what I'm doing, and I've done it for years. And now it's a business for me, where it was just a hobby before, and it's really thrust me forward. Although very important people in my life are no longer here, unfortunately. It's fulfilled a hole for myself and been extremely positive, and I'm just so excited about it.
That's awesome. So you were saying that you were always been independent, so you were able to make decisions on your own, and your parents supported you being
absolutely
free spirit and supported you.
And even when I got married, my husband was very open. Like he just kind of let me do my own thing, which was wonderful.
So they really respected your free spirit and
absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's great. Thanks. How about you, Rosemary? How about?
I wasn't always positive.
Yeah.
I had a very harsh beginning to my life, a very difficult childhood. We were very poor, and we lived on a farm. We had a well for water. We had outhouse. We didn't have any modern conveniences that people take for granted now. I had a very disruptive home life, and that sort of colored my life when I was little. That these things happened, and I had no control over them, and I wasn't the positive person. But over the years, I learned to try and pick out of every situation, look for something that was good from that situation, so that if it was bad, there was still some little bit that you could hang on to that made life better, even though it was kind of pretty grim. There was still this little light that And so over the years, I kept looking for the positive.
Right.
And if you look for it, you find more of it, and you find more of it.
That's so
And
true.
then I started being grateful for the positive, the attitude of gratitude, as they
Attitude of
say,
gratitude, yes.
the old cliche. But if you can get up and say, I am grateful for this, and I'm grateful for the other, and then that helps you not look at the negative things that are there, that as a child you have no control
Right.
over. And as you grow, you do have control over them, and you can then change those negative things in your life. Say, okay, what do I have that I don't want, and how can I change that? And sometimes the change has to be very small and very small little steps, but eventually you get to where you want to be if you work at it, and you have to do the work.
Yeah.
And then every day we get up, I kiss the day, because I'm
I love that.
grateful for the day.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, yeah.
Get up and kiss the day. It's here.
Yeah.
This is the day.
Yeah.
And you've got all day today, and to learn to live in the moment. And I think that I've learned to do that over the years, but I didn't have that when I was young.
Yeah. And don't you think that often happens with people who at our stage in life, we live with gratitude, is because we've overcome adversity, and we've at some level made a choice of not being negative. That's one way of living, but it sounds like you made a conscious choice of that doesn't work. I don't want to be negative. I'm going to take baby steps to become and create a positive life. So it sounds like it was a choice for you, just like it was a choice for Matt's and Pat's to not subscribe and support that negativity, that find a way where we can hear the wisdom, we can hear the good things, and how are people living a good life, because we can't control all the negative stuff that goes on, but we can control what we do. So is that sort of similar for you? Did you
Absolutely.
make decisions too at different times, Sharon, to think differently? Because it really comes to how we think, doesn't it? If we think more positively, we will act more positively.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And it's a habit. So you can learn anything if you practice it.
Yeah.
So you have to practice being positive. A lot of people, it just doesn't spring forth. They're not, the
No.
situation isn't that way, but you can practice being negative, and you can, well, it feels great to feel sorry for myself, and it feels great to be sad, and, but after a while it gets kind of tiresome.
Yeah.
So if you're tired of that, what can you do? Let's be positive, and positive is much more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and be thankful. I think the attitude of gratitude is really key, is thanking whoever and whatever for the day and for our health and for what we have. And I know one of the things that I've learned to do, and it was because I, like yourself, I could have gone to real negative because of my roots. However, I've made a choice not to, and I'm so grateful every day, and I do say a little words of gratitude for just how lucky we are where we live. That we're safe. That,
Yes.
and I think for those many of us have traveled, you don't have to go that far to see we're very blessed where we live. And to me, that always keeps me focused, like, oh yeah, life ain't that bad. Because I think, we can isolate ourselves, and as you said, Sharon, not participate. And the longer we don't participate, then we go down that rabbit hole, and oh, nobody wants to be with me. No, everybody's out there. You become a bit of a victim and a pity party. So
Absolutely.
participation is really what it's all about, I think, to stay healthy and happy.
Engaged in life.
Yeah. And don't people want to be around people who are happy?
Absolutely.
Along that line, I'm curious, because if people that are listening and watching, maybe there's some tips. So what do you suggest for somebody? Well, I guess two questions. First of all, what do you do if someone's very negative around you and you don't want to participate in that negativity? Are there things that you've learned to do to protect yourself and so you don't get into that? Are there things that you've done that you can think of that you protect yourself around that? So when they start talking in negative conversation, do you do certain things to try to turn it around, or what do you do?
I think myself, I just quit listening.
Okay, so you
so
tune them out.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm talking to you, but then I would just to you often,
Okay.
and because I'm not gonna let you get into my space and make me feel bad,
Okay.
because it can do that.
Oh, for sure.
And exactly what Rosemary said, you know, by the time you're finished with the conversation, you wonder why you even got up in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so depleted.
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
can just drain you.
The thing,
What do you do?
the thing that I try to do with people who are negative like that on the phone, and I try, or in life or whatever, and I try to say, well, you know, I don't think it's that bad, or I
Yes.
say, well, you know, it was nice yesterday, and the weatherman says it's going to be great tomorrow, whatever. But if I find that I get at an impasse with people, I just say to them, well, you can think what you want to think, you can believe what you want to believe, and I believe what I want to believe. And I have to, you know, I continuously think, well, I believe it's a nice day and it's a nice life and it's a good life. But I don't turn them off so much. I just find that I talk to them less often.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, you definitely do that. You don't want to get engaged
Yeah.
with them too often because they will drag you down.
And with people who I don't have to communicate with, who are acquaintances, and if they're constantly negative and I can't think of anything, I eventually just don't
Right.
interact with them
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
which is probably my loss and their loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We don't have, it's a choice. You know, and that we can't control. We can't control the media, we can't control the world, we can't control how we behave. And what are we saying, and what's our practice that other people can learn from? Because that really is what it's all about, and I think that's what we really hope that people listening to us and viewing this is that they might get some ideas of how they can maybe change their lives, or again, look for people who are inspirational in your life because they're around. And I think the things to tell them, you know, let people know that you appreciate the contribution, because again, it's face to face and it doesn't have to be social media. It's pick up the phone or face to face and write them a thank you card, something. But anyway, I think that it's been really good. I think that we've had a really good understanding of what you do and how you are today happy and full of conversations. So it's great. So thank you. I want to leave you with a wonderful quote by a Buddhist philosopher called Daisaku Ikeda. And this is what he says: "The wisdom and experience of older people is a resource of inestimable worth. Recognizing and treasuring the contributions of older people is essential to the long-term flourishing of any society." And so I leave you with that. We are the elders or the wise ones in our community when we're 55 plus. Some of us can be wise, I guess, when we're younger. But we really want to capture and give voice to the people who have lots to offer and to make this a better place. So thank you.